Live from next Thursday, bringing you Viva la Nerd. This is episode number something
7?
Less than 10.
I think 7.
I think it's 5.
No, 7.
6?
I think 7.
Sold!
Okay.
The important part is that today we are chock-a-block with news. So I have a bunch of happy news to tell you about.
We have so much news that we're not even CNN.
Yes, thank you for enumerating the things that we are not.
But I have spent 20 hours online looking for a pen in the Indian Ocean.
A pen in the Indian Ocean?
Yes.
Are you from the Midwest by any chance? Yeah, sure.
Yeah, sure.
Well, I also, one of my big news is that we have a sponsor.
We have a sponsor?
We have a sponsor. We're being brought to you today by the letter E, which reminds you that everyone needs at least 3 E's.
How long did it take you to think of that one?
About 2 days.
It's good, though. It's good.
Well, I've been thinking about sponsorship, and
how we don't have any.
We don't have any sponsors yet.
Because we have 3 subscribers on YouTube.
But one of them is me. I've been thinking about how...
Well, we do have a mystery sponsor.
We do?
Or, I mean, not sponsor, subscriber.
Oh, a mystery subscriber. Yeah, a mystery sponsor would be...
Yeah.
Very interesting indeed.
Very interesting.
Someone who left a basket of muffins on your doorstep.
That's right.
Don't eat any unlabeled food, Cristy.
Okay.
No, I was thinking about sponsorship and how it would be great to be sponsored by companies that you really like and that, you know, are useful to you. Like, we should get sponsored by a supermarket because we have to eat. You know what I mean?
Yeah, definitely. Whole Foods coming to you live.
Well, I do only eat organic if possible because I'm like that.
Okay.
Because I like my food organic.
Because you're fresh.
I like the
Fresh,
idea.
fresh.
I like the fact that we call things that don't have chemicals organic. I mean,
because
that don't
it's
have.
So weird. We have to call it out.
Yeah, it's like, well, what are you eating? Minerals the rest of the time?
I don't know.
Anyway, you know, it's a nerd word thing.
Mm.
It's a grammar police thing.
Mm.
Where I get pissed off when people, if you ask them how they are, they say they're good. Like, I don't want to know about the state of your soul. I was just asking, you know, how you're feeling. But that is not what this podcast is about today.
But you digress.
I always do. It's part of my charm. I'm charming.
Okay, so
the big news, the real news, is that Community has been picked up by Yahoo. Yahoo is going to start doing TV shows. Well, I guess we'd call them shows now. And so it had been canceled by NBC. And I was really sad because I had just discovered Community in its final season at NBC. And I was really sad. And on my cable service, Community only comes on once a day at 4 o'clock in the morning. So I've been DVRing it.
Yikes.
And fast forwarding through the Medicare commercials.
Speaking of Medicare, I also have news. AOL is going to start its own TV viewership kind of thing.
Oh.
And they're going to be sponsoring Murder, She Wrote. And Matlock.
Oh, great.
Heat of the Night.
These are shows that were for old people of the last generation. Like, old people of this generation don't even know those shows.
Oh, man. Too funny. Anyway, sorry. I had to interject.
No, that was very nice.
Very important
also,
news.
Calling your own joke funny is really good. That's hilarious.
Yeah, sorry.
Wait, is this one of those moments where I'm being a bitch?
We'll have to play it back.
Oh, then we'll know. Because you couldn't possibly tell me if I was being a bitch in real time.
So what other news do we have?
Okay, so going back to the thing that I said that you were ignoring, Community has been picked up by Yahoo. They are going to be producing new shows. Part of our big news is our big new microphones.
They are beautiful.
We love them.
It's happy time.
And so we'd like to give a shout out to Shure Microphones. You can sponsor us if you want.
We love you. And the speakers have this really fluffy mic cover.
What speakers?
Or the microphones. And we've got stands, and we've got an Scarlett 2i2, which is the interface to our wonderful Macintosh.
Oh, yeah, which actually, this is an interesting thing. We're not all digital anymore. We've got analog mics.
We got professional, yo. I said, hey, Lisa, we've got our 3rd subscriber on Yahoo, and somebody from
Yahoo?
On YouTube.
Oh, okay.
We've got our third
On the interweb?
Yes, we've got our 3rd subscriber on YouTube. Someone from South Africa listened to our show. I think it's time.
We got to go pro.
We got to go pro. So we went to Guitar Center, and it was a very fulfilling experience because we were doing our jokes, and people were laughing.
I was not doing jokes.
Well, we were doing our regular shticks.
I was being myself.
Well, I know, but I'm saying, like, you know, we're
funny.
We were funny.
We made people laugh.
Yeah. And it was so gratifying because I thought, like, okay, you know, in our family, like, we're laughing all the time, laughing so hard. And I thought it was just like a family thing. I thought, like, yeah, I mean, I don't know if we're funny. I don't know if anybody really, you know, responds to us. And they were laughing, and they really enjoyed it. And I was like, oh, man, see, like, this is what I need. So, to that end, I want to tell our, like, 3 viewers on YouTube and for one person who listened to, like, a minute of the show, comment. We are on YouTube, Viva La Nerd. We are on Twitter. My account is cstrong3665. So give us your feedback if you are mad because
Lisa said something stupid.
Or, you know, Doctor Who. Why'd you put down Doctor Who? Are you crazy?
Who put down Doctor Who?
I don't know. Maybe some people felt like that. But anyway,
what?
Just let us know. Just let us know. Give us some feedback.
There's no putting down of Doctor Who on this show.
Well,
I think you picked the wrong example.
Well, you know, we were not we did not paint a rosy picture of the Doctor Who season.
Oh. Well, it's not my fault if the writing sucks for 5 episodes.
Regardless, some people are such diehard fans that they don't want to hear anything negative.
I thought that was me. I'm the diehard fan. Anyway, so again, I'm digressing. So yes, I would love to get some feedback from our listener.
Mm-hmm. Mom, just, you know, come over, you know, tell me, girls, I think you need to go to church.
I don't know why you have to talk about the penis of the monster. That was gratuitous.
Yeah.
That was very gratuitous.
I'm so sorry. But, you know, it is ginormous. And it is unavoidable.
Maybe. So, back to news.
Back to news.
So, other news, also on Yahoo. I am so excited about this. There's a new show that's being put together called Other Space, and it was just announced that Joel Hodgson and Trace Beaulieu from Mystery Science Theater 3000 have joined.
Mystery Science Theater 3000. Sorry, I had to do that.
Don't start the song if you don't want me to sing the whole thing, because I know it by heart.
I love it.
In the not too distant future. Well, which is where I got next Thursday.
Yes. I had forgotten about that.
One of my favorite things about that song, by the way, there's a lyric that I think all science fiction fans should remember, where he says, if you're wondering how he eats and breathes and other science facts, la la la, Just think to yourself, it's just a show. I should really just relax for Mystery Science Theater 3000.
Love that show.
Anyway, so every time I start getting uptight, I hear that part of the song and I'm like, okay, it's fine. So there's a swimming pool. Whatever. This is very exciting because Mystery Science Theater is still so beloved, has been off the air for 20 years, more, I think. It started in the era of VHS, really. And at the end of the show, oh my God, it's so cute. At the end of the show, there was a line in the credits that would say, keep the tape circulating, because what people would do is they would tape it on their VHS and they would share it with their friends. And that's pre-internet. That's how you would, share these things and introduce your friends to the show. That was, for us, it was on, I think, at midnight or 1 o'clock in the morning on some station that we barely got, which was probably, coming in from Minnesota when we were living in Michigan.
Millennials, VHS, look it up on Wikipedia.
It's a videotape. Ask Grandpa. So it was, well, first of all, I've never heard our brother laugh so hard.
Ever. That's true. Oh my God, I didn't remember that.
Yes, and to this day, I don't think he peed a little, I think, one time.
Thanks for that information.
And that doesn't happen to boys. Anyway, so it's funny when you make boys pee. And it still stays with me. Now it's on Netflix. Mm-hmm. And just the creator of the show, Joel Hodgson. Well, Trace also was one of the creators, but I particularly loved Joel because he created all of the puppets.
The robots, man. You
robots.
Can't go wrong with robots.
And so he's a puppeteer, a sculptor. He's an artist. And I found out when I was looking him up.
So are we.
Well, here's the thing. I'm a sculptor. And I looked him up on Wikipedia, and I found out he was born on February 20th.
Your birthday.
That's right.
Whoa. Did he go to art school?
I don't remember everything in the Wikipedia entry. I think so. Anyway, for years also, he was doing props in LA. So he continued with the puppets and props for TV.
Our listeners might not know that we both graduated from art school.
There's no reason they should know.
That's why I'm telling them, because
now they know.
They now have some useless fact, which is what we all live for.
So when we put the trivia game of Viva la Nerd, do you know everything about them?
We can play with...
Somebody's going to get this one in the lightning round, Cristy.
We can play with Mom.
She'd probably disagree with us on certain facts. No, Lizzie, you are so nice.
Oh, qué linda.
Lizzie, you are beautiful.
You look more pretty today than every day. Mom, you say that every day. But today I really mean it.
It's always true.
It's always true. Ay, qué linda. Oh.
I had to stop taking her shopping with me because...
No, don't get me started on that.
Everything looks perfect, and even when I would try to get her to choose between two outfits, she would just look at me with like nearly tears in her eyes and be like, they're both so beautiful. So, yeah, the trivia game is going to be real fun. We'll work on that.
Okay.
I'm a fan of Jeopardy, so what is low self-esteem? Bing, 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 bing. 3 points. This could be a good project for me.
Okay, then.
So, Community. Cristy, you've seen maybe 3 episodes?
No, I've seen maybe
4?
8.
8?
probably.
And you still are not a fan?
I love it. I just haven't been regularly watching.
Oh, because you're too busy watching Buffy for the 57th time. In order.
Hey, man. Yes.
Basically, yes. Cristy, give us the short answer.
Uh-huh. Shorter than yes.
Well, I don't know how you can be completely hooked, because I think it's 100% genius. And
it is. Oh my God. There was one episode which I thought was just like beyond. I mean, I've always thought it's a good show, but the one that they did, the Ken Burns Civil War.
I still haven't seen that one.
Oh my God, it's so fucking funny. The group breaks up in two, and they're doing some sort of contest, or I don't know. There's some reason why they're kind of at war with each other.
There's a lot of those.
And they do the Ken Burns treatment with like the slow motion and
the zoom in and out.
Yeah, and then the voiceovers. Oh my God, it is so fucking funny. I laugh so fucking hard.
I watch it by myself, like when I come home from work. That's my treat, is, I retrieve the episode that I taped at 4 o'clock in the morning, and watch that. And all by my lonesome, me and the cats, I'm totally cracking up, literally laughing out loud. And that is so hard to do.
Yeah.
So it's good if they make you laugh all alone.
Yeah. I just saw the first episode recently, because I had always wondered, like, how did these people even get together?
Right.
Such an odd group. And I was like, oh, okay, this makes so much sense.
It's a cute premise.
Yeah, it's very nice.
Well, one of the things that I had heard about and only just saw was that they had a parody of Doctor Who on Community.
Wow.
And I finally got to see, it's called Inspector Spacetime.
Oh, that's right. Oh my God, that thing is so awesome.
And it is hilarious. And for a fan, especially, like, it just cracked me up. They did a thing where
it's a parody inside the show.
Yes. So they're
it's a web series.
Abed.
Mm-hmm.
No.
Well, yeah, they make parody episodes of Doctor Who, and put them online, right?
Sort of.
In the show.
So in the show, Doctor Who doesn't exist. It's Inspector Spacetime.
Oh, I see. Okay.
So it's a real thing in their universe.
Okay.
Just as we have Doctor Who, they have Inspector Spacetime.
I see.
And they're big fans. They go to the conventions.
Uh-huh.
And at one point, the whole group ends up there. And the two people who don't watch Inspector Spacetime get picked for a focus group on bringing Inspector Spacetime to the U.S. So they end up giving opinions that no fan would have ever had. Mm-hmm. And this is how Inspector Spacetime in the U.S. ends up like sleeping with Cheryl Tiegs and, having a lot of girls in bikinis around, stuff like this. You do have to see it. Mm-hmm.
The Inspector Spacetime, video though is on YouTube.
Yes. So apparently they had so much fun making it that there wasn't enough to put on NBC, so they released some of the extra footage.
It is hilarious.
So I got to see that. Yeah.
It is hilarious on its own, but it's even funnier if you're a Doctor Who fan.
Speaking of which, let's segue into what I wanted to tell you about Doctor Who.
Dude, it's good again.
It's good again.
Thank you.
Thank you very much, Mr. Moffet.
I got pissed, let me tell you. I saw the Orient Express episode, and I was like, what the fuck is going on? I just was so upset. And
you were
mad.
upset?
Yes, I was.
This is when we were away from each other, right? This is when you were on vacation. I don't think we saw that episode together.
No, we didn't.
Did you stomp?
No, but I was
curse?
like,
because you just cursed.
I was like, what the hell is going on? I didn't understand. They had a fight. He was an asshole, and it's like, what is happening to the show that I love?
That's funny that you didn't understand the episode that you watched without me. I would have explained it to you.
Lisa, you know when you told me to tell you when you're being a bitch?
Yeah, but I knew I was being a bitch now. That was on purpose.
Okay, so explain it to me, because obviously I didn't get it.
I love it when you're like, oh, wait, why did he say that? And I'm like, oh, that's because in 1962, when he was such and such. And like, I've got 50 years of Doctor Who history to lay on you. And you're like, no, I just didn't understand his accent. What did he say?
Yeah. Or,
Thanks for the...
Or you tell me the very obvious, you're Captain Obvious. Like, he said that because he was upset. And I'm like, thank you, Captain Obvious.
Well, anyway, so you didn't like the Mummy episode.
No, I did not.
I did.
I liked the episode. I did not like their interaction with each other.
That's true. That one, there was more and more of this tension and like friction between them.
Yeah, and it was more of this new doctor that the whole who this doctor is and how he differs from the ones before was just like brought to a conflict, brought to a boiling point there. Yeah. And I was just like, I don't want to watch this anymore. I didn't watch it for 2 weeks after that.
You were on vacation.
Yeah, but you know what? I could have watched and I didn't. I just, was so upset. And so then yesterday we watched the latest episode, which is the penultimate. How do you say it?
That's how you say it.
And it was so, oh my God, it just made me so happy because it's like back to the stuff. So you've got the master back, you've got, what Doctor Who is, there with the Cybermen and spoilers.
You're supposed to say spoilers before, not after you say.
Yeah, but I just realized that I kind of spoiled it for any Doctor Who fan. But sorry. So it was just so gratifying, and Clara was not as annoying as usual. So that was extra good.
Extra double plus good. Well, I actually liked the episode before that, Flatline, where they had the two-dimensional villains.
Oh, that was also very good, yeah.
So that, to me, was when things turned around because here was a new villain, a new species that we were encountering, and something, really exciting where the Doctor has no idea what's going on. The TARDIS cannot translate. These are rare occurrences sometimes because they keep recycling the same species / props. And frankly, I'm not a big fan of the Cybermen at all, or the Daleks.
Lisa, these are the evil characters.
Well, okay.
I would hope that you were not a fan of them.
Let's not go back to the Darth Vader discussion. Not a fan meaning I'm not interested in them as characters. And I find the Daleks, especially...
Exterminate!
Pretty lame, pretty lazy as a character,
Well, Lisa, they quite literally are lazy.
Lazy?
Yeah.
They refuse to go upstairs.
They basically the Daleks are basically in a little robot that takes them around.
They're in their hover-rounds.
They're in their hover-rounds.
They refuse to walk.
That's what I'm saying.
And they've only recently gained the ability to go upstairs.
Yes.
That used to be...
They fly now.
That used to be so funny. It's like, oh, you want to beat the Daleks?
Go up the stairs.
Similarly, these monsters in Flatline were two-dimensional, literally.
Yes.
But, they were not of this universe. And now we're getting to something like new concepts that Doctor Who hasn't explored before, new species that he hasn't encountered before. So he can't just pull something out of his pocket that, it's like, oh, here's the formula of how you deal with X you know.
But also the last episode was there were so many surprises, and finally we got some answers to things that they've been hinting about.
Oh, Darkwater, you're talking about this week's episode.
I'm jumping. Sorry. Yeah, it was a surprise. They've been hinting at this for the entire season.
Right, with Misty or Missy?
Yeah.
Missy. I think.
Missy. Mm-hmm.
So, yeah, so everybody was wondering who is Missy.
Right.
And now we know.
Mm-hmm.
Spoilers.
Spoilers.
Okay, so she's the master, and a lot of people were thinking that that's what the story was. That, to me, is a little bit disappointing because, again, I don't need to see the same characters. You know, it's a big universe. Like, aren't there some other people in it?
Yeah, but they did this whole thing in a different way.
What, bringing them back the master for the 56th time?
Okay, I get it, but they did it in a different way. I don't want to give too much away.
Give it away.
All right. So basically, Clara's boyfriend dies, and Doctor Who and Clara go to find him, and they go to this place, and it's a mausoleum basically, where there's bodies under dark water, and the dark water is X-ray water, so you see their skeletons, and then you think that you're in this strange place where they're gonna find what is his name, Danny Pinkett. Pink.
Yes.
Usual suspects, Mr. Pink.
Yes.
So where was I?
So they go to the mausoleum, and then they find out these are actually, there she is, and she's been collecting the dead. That much we knew.
Mm-hmm.
And
there's Missy.
And there's Missy, right? And so we find out that she's the master. And
the water drains, and all the bodies are Cybermen.
Right, and so she's been collecting the dead to make new Cybermen, and she's going to take over the Earth.
Again.
Oh
my God.
And kill Doctor Who
again.
Well, so anyway, that's all fine. I was hoping that this would be a new character. Yeah. It's not. That's okay.
But it was a surprise, which was nice.
It was only a surprise because you didn't know. It's not like, oh my God, I've never seen this character before. It's
no, I know,
new.
But it was like you were, the whole season. You're like, what is this about? What is this about? And then it's like, whoa.
Okay, so you were surprised that it was the master.
Yeah.
Okay. I think it's a cool show. I like that.
You think it's a cool show?
Episode. I think it's a cool episode. What I liked about it was that Doctor Who was going to be exploring the afterworld and death, which is someplace that he's never been before.
Yes.
Right? So that's interesting to me.
Mm-hmm.
So that part I like.
It was a little Matrix too.
How? Oh, okay. Because they're saved. The souls are saved digitally.
Because they show Mr. Pink. Now I have to say Mr. Pink.
I can't believe you hadn't thought of that before.
Yeah, but it just materialized in my brain. But so he's in the afterlife.
Right.
And it appears to be a city, and he's trying to figure out where he is, and this is where all the people go after they die, or the people that Missy collects go when they die.
Right.
And, he's trying to figure out what the heck is going on, and then it turns out he's in the, what do they call it? The galactic brain, the
whatever, he's in a computer.
Right. So in that way, it's very Matrix because he's having an experience that appears to be life, but the afterlife, and little does he know he's a Cyberman.
Well, he's not a Cyberman yet. He has to press the button.
Oh well, yeah.
Because I guess you have to choose to become a Cyberman. How does that happen?
I don't know. The master became enlightened.
It's nicer if they can choose. I don't know about that part, but yeah, so I like the exploration of the afterworld.
Being a woman has changed him, Lisa.
You know what? Actually, it's
and when he's a real bitch, you know he's on the ride.
I cannot believe you just made such an anti-woman joke.
I know, and I apologize to all women.
Is it because you're on the rag?
Shut up. Lisa, remember that you had me wanted me to tell you when you were being a bitch.
You know, I'm going to make a hand signal when I know I'm being a bitch for the sake of comedy. Okay, how about that? Like,
well, it's not.
This is me being mean on purpose.
Okay.
Okay, right hand, left hand.
I was going to say,
is this? Left hand up.
Visual jokes do not work in this medium, Lisa.
No, but it'll keep you from stating the obvious, which is, Lisa, you're being a bitch. We all know that.
And now I am pushing my glasses up my nose.
Okay, so this one. Yeah.
Oh, that sounded strange. Like I'm putting them in my nose, up my nose. Anyway.
Yes. Where were we before I started being mean?
Doctor Who.
Oh, okay.
It's another Doctor Who roundup.
Doctor Who roundup.
Yeehaw!
Why do I insist on calling it the Doctor Who roundup like it's a rodeo?
Well, you know, there is a banjo in the TARDIS.
There is?
And a hayseed that he puts in his mouth.
What?
Yes.
That only happened once. When they went to Utah to
Howdy, y'all.
Lake Silencio.
I think that was a shout out to the BBC America audience.
What, that they went to America?
No, the whole cowboy thing.
Oh, either that or they wanted to go on vacation.
Do you think they have a bigger audience in the U.S. than Britain?
That is hard to say. I think no, because Doctor Who in Britain is more of a... Well, you asked me a question. Let me answer it. Who's the bitch now, bitch?
Okay.
Doctor Who is more mainstream in the UK.
Mm-hmm.
So kind of like everybody knows it, and it's on...
All the actors want to be on it that are fans. Many.
Probably.
Many.
I can't speak to that. But it's on broadcast television, and it's on government sponsored television, and it's much more part of the culture, whereas here it's still a little bit of a cult favorite.
Mm-hmm.
But there's way more people in the U.S., so we might outnumber them in sheer numbers.
Yeah.
But everybody loves Doctor Who.
It's a strange phenomenon where you are so involved in like these things, and then you realize that not everybody is interested in them. Do you know what I'm saying?
I do, but I'm laughing because that's the experience of my entire life.
Yeah, no, it's not new for me either, but it's crystallizing in my brain.
I see. When you get crystals in your brain, that's usually when you have to get the special treatment.
That we're not going to talk about.
With the laser and the trepanation. Got to blast that shit out of there.
I just put water in my ear and just knock it to the other side.
And that usually loosens it up.
Cleans up the brain.
I use that phrase all the time. It never struck me as so funny as,
well,
until I heard it from somebody else.
Because
it crystallized in my brain, and then I had an aneurysm.
Recently, like I've never been one for really hobbies or personal interests. I've been so focused on my work, and just recently...
You're such a career woman.
Well, I don't know about that, but that was my focus. And just recently, I've developed interest that I always had, but I've allowed myself to have these interests.
You're developing your interests outside of work.
Yes. And so, I've listened to The Nerdist, big fan. I've, started rediscovering comic books, and, and I thought everybody knew what this stuff was, and...
What, comic books?
Well, and...
you call them comic books? Yay! My plan is starting to become complete.
Should I raise my hand at this point?
No, I think it's pretty obvious to everybody what's happening.
That was funny. I've been listening to the podcast at work and stuff, and people are like, say, oh, it's the Nerdist, What the heck is that,
Oh my God, doesn't everyone know Talking Dead?
It seems like it seems like that's blowing up, but yet a lot of people don't know about it.
That's interesting that you bring that up, because I think it's something that I've been thinking about for a while, and that is that with the internet and with things being so focused and tailored, pushed to you, it's hard to know what is popular and big in the outside world and what is being specifically targeted to you. So, for example, when you watch, let's say, broadcast TV, and you see commercials, right? You're seeing stuff that is being sent out to the broadest section of
Except you
people,
pick
right?
you pick an audience based on what show is on, what episode is, what the topic
True.
of the episode is, even.
So let's just say very general interest, let's say like Good Morning America or something like that, like a very general interest show, right?
I hate Good Morning America. Morning TV is retarded.
Yes, it is.
And I hate that word. Ugh. Sorry.
Okay. Yes, it is. But it's watched by, like 11 million people every day or something. It's probably too high. But anyway.
I used to watch the Today Show every day.
Now that is retarded.
Yeah. And now I'm like, how did I used to do this? Ew.
Yeah, that's a whole other story.
But anyway, definitely the 9 o'clock hour with the drinking show, that's way beyond me. I can't handle that.
That show's hilarious. But okay, so let me finish.
Okay, back to the point.
Broadcast TV, trying to appeal to millions of people are watching it, right?
Yes.
So you're getting an understanding of what's happening to big chunks of people, what they're interested in, what's being sold to them. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And when you go on the internet, like, especially if it's a site that you're logging into, let's say even something really mainstream like Yahoo. If you're logging in, they already have all your interests. They start taking out the stuff that you're not interested in, right? And so then all the ads are tailored to you.
Yes.
So you wouldn't know necessarily that, like, everybody in America is drinking, I don't know, orange juice without pulp, right? Because it doesn't appear anywhere in your universe.
Yeah.
Because everything is tailored to what you like. And that's one of my problems when, I want to know.
It gives you a lack of perspective.
Yes. Things that I don't like. And like somehow that's why I like to hear the radio, and I like broadcast media for that, because even though it is artificial, it gives me a sense of what is going on culturally with the rest of the world, as opposed to what's happening in my little world. So if I only went by what is in my feeds, and it's like, yeah, everybody on the planet is obsessed with Doctor Who. Who knew?
And the other thing that I was going to say is,
sorry,
the interwebs.
Yes.
There's such a thing as interwebs famous. The audiences are smaller and more targeted. So if you have 100,000 viewers for, a YouTube video or whatever, that's huge. You're a celebrity in certain circles.
Yes.
And you're making money off of it then. But if you think about it, like, that's actually a very small segment.
I noticed that when Game of Thrones was on this year, the audience for that and stuff like True Detective, like, it was so talked about in the media, and yet the real audience for it, I think, was like 5 million people an episode, which is so small.
Well, yeah, but it's still a lot larger than the things that I've been paying attention to.
Yeah, but it doesn't compare to the audience for The Amazing Race every Sunday night.
Mm-hmm. Well, that is a good show.
Neither here nor there.
Although Game of Thrones definitely beats it. In wigs alone. Those are some expensive wigs, man. That is some good hair. There's a lot of black ladies going, oh, yeah, baby.
Really? Have you talked to them?
I don't know.
To all our African American listeners, please send us your thoughts on the Game of Thrones wigs. We'd love to hear it. Send all your comments to C-Strong
3665.
Is that really the number, or you changed it?
No, that's it. Hey, even the negative comments, I would.
No, the wigs
welcome.
are amazing.
Yes, they are.
And I imagine that their wig budget.
It's got to be out of this world.
Yes, I would like to be a wig stylist.
It's probably real hair, too, because it's just so good.
Well, yes. You don't know anything about wigs, do you?
Not really.
Yes, any wig worth its salt is made of real hair. And real hair wigs are...
Like yak?
Extremely common.
Alpaca?
Human hair, sweetie.
Okay.
Human. No, alpaca, that's called yarn. A lot of people don't know this, but it has become so popular to donate one's hair to charity.
Yeah, I tried to do it. I couldn't grow it long enough.
Oh, well, it's become so popular that they had too much.
Yeah, so they
started selling it.
Yeah,
and using those funds for the charity.
Right.
But they don't realize that hair is now on probably Game of Thrones.
Your hair's famous.
Wouldn't it be nice to know that?
Oh, so rewarding.
It's so rewarding. I grew Daenerys's hair.
Wow.
My claim to fame.
That's very nice.
Okay, probably not me.
Why do you love making noise, Lisa?
I can't help it. I'm not doing anything with my hands.
You want your knitting?
Yes, I do.
Where is it?
No, I'm just kidding.
Okay. You can't sit
do we
still.
Do we have to air my dirty laundry?
No, sorry.
In front of all our fan?
Yeah, but you're like, crumbling a piece of paper in front of the microphone.
Crackle, crackle, crackle.
I can't sit still. I gotta do something.
I literally cannot sit still. My hands need to be doing something, and usually I find an activity that my hands can do on their own without my brain having to be 100% attendant to it while I do something else. And so that is part of why I knit, and I can make socks
to
without
Knitters
thinking.
Anonymous. Welcome.
Thanks for sharing.
I
make socks because I feel pain.
Oh, no. My name is Lisa, and I'm a Knitter Anonymous.
We were talking about, instead of cutting, just beeping stuff. I could use some of my sound effects, too.
Oh.
Wait, where's my sound effect rod?
Oh, so we got to talk about Intergalactic Nemesis. She tried to use her noisemaker, and it didn't make any noise.
We're having some technical difficulties here at Viva La Nerd. So, Cristy and I went to a... what would you call that? Well, it was kind of like a play.
It was like a radio play.
It was, yes. So, and in the lobby afterwards, they were selling some of copies of the sound effects gadgets. They were all old-fashioned sound effect gadgets, like,
It was called Intergalactic Nemesis.
Wait, I'm not from...
There it is.
So anyway, they were manual devices. There's nothing digital, okay? Mm-hmm. And how old-fashioned sound effects like they had in radio plays in the 30s, which is what this was based on. And now we can talk about the actual show, which was called Intergalactic Nemesis and was really cool. Cristy, let's move over to the... okay, I am trying to think of an excuse to use my sound effects, and I can't think of one.
Transport us back to the radio play. Lisa.
Okay, let's transport back to the radio play. It doesn't work very well.
Uh, so basically, it was written by an Austin native.
Austin, Texas.
Yes, and he basically created a radio play, which also is a graphic novel. And as the story moves forward, and the people are on stage next to microphones as if they were, enacting the radio play. And in the background projected is you see the graphic novel as the story goes.
So actually, we should explain a little bit the background. It started as a radio play.
Mm-hmm.
And then when they started doing it live in front of audiences, they wanted to have more visuals. And that's when they got the graphic novel done. And so then they would project something that would be like an image from the show. And when they performed it here, at least, they were all dressed in 30s costumes because it's really got that 1930s Flash Gordon feel to it.
But it's sci-fi, too.
Well, sci-fi didn't start now. Sci-fi is actually...
No, I know, but I'm just saying it was a sci-fi thing, which is cool.
Oh, yes. Ergo, Intergalactic Nemesis. There we go. I have to learn how to use this thing. It's really just a plastic tube with a little plastic thing inside, and it pushes air.
Right. So one of the other cool things is that they have the Foley artist in front of the stage. So you can see the sound effects being made as the radio play goes on.
Right, which is, I guess, how it would have been in the old days in radio. You would have the sound. And, the fact that they call it a Foley artist just drives me nuts because Foley is only from the movies. In radio, it was just the sound effects man. It's just sound effects. Foley artist is like when you have the Foley machine, which plays the video back and syncs the sound to the image.
Yeah.
But apparently people understood that better than sound effects person. I don't know.
I just
sounded fancy.
I wanted to use the proper title for it.
Well, no, that's. I'm not saying you're.
Okay, you gotta stop.
I'm not saying you're using the wrong term. That's the term that they use.
Yeah.
But I thought it was curious that they were using a term from contemporary filmmaking as opposed to something that was period appropriate with the rest of the production.
Well, that's become the proper name for any kind
sound
of
effects person. Yeah. I don't know. Sound effects people out there, give us your feedback. Write to us at C Strong 365
3665 at C Strong 3665.
I don't know
on
number.
Twitter.
Why did you pick that number, or you're the 3,665th?
No, I just picked a random number.
Oh, interesting. I wonder what it means. Oh.
She tried to make the sound effect and it didn't happen again.
I'm sure that will be on the track as a little click, like a sad little plastic sound.
Anyway, we really enjoyed Intergalactic Nemesis. We were ogling their microphones and
all their equipment.
Yeah.
Now I liked the retro aspect
that
to
was
it
really
because,
nice.
Well, for one thing, I'm a huge fan of radio.
I know.
Just flat out.
You found out because it was mentioned on NPR, right?
Oh yes, which I listen to constantly.
Unfortunately, there wasn't a huge audience for it. I would think that it would have been more popular.
I would think that NPR in South Florida, boy, it would have just brought in the crowds.
I got you there. But, I mean, in general, if enough people knew about it, it seems like it would get a bigger audience than that.
Yeah, it turned out they had a preview at some public school.
Yeah, they tried to gear it more towards kids.
And I think the kids did enjoy it.
There were some hipster types there. Well, I saw a lot of beards and old-timey mustaches.
So you know they're hipsters.
Yes.
But there were the majority of the audience were kids, I would say middle school maybe.
Families, yeah.
And their families. And they enjoyed it.
They did. They did.
And then there was us.
No.
Unaccompanied females. I enjoyed the retro aspect of it, the radio aspect, obviously the 30s, which is one of my favorite time periods. And before you say anything, no, they didn't wear corsets in the 30s. Okay, so just get over yourself. And I loved the retro sci-fi. Like, one of my many interests is the idea that people had of the future in the past.
Mm-hmm.
So what they thought was going to happen in the year 2015.
Like 1984 type stuff. The Jetsons.
Exactly.
Mm-hmm.
So this was sci-fi from the 30s. Like, professor, like there always had to be a professor.
Of course.
It reminded
Just
me
like
a lot.
Gilligan's Island.
That's right. It reminded me a lot of Flash Gordon.
Yes.
Which was itself a remake of
used to
1930s.
be a radio play.
It was, yes.
I love the 70s movie.
Me too.
Oh my God, I love it.
We should see that again. It's fantastic.
Flash was very sexy.
I actually saw Flash Gordon started in radio, but then moved over to
Black and white TV.
No, before that, it was a serial in the movies before TV.
Really?
You know what movie serials are?
Were they just shorts that were pieced together?
Yes, every week they would play an episode at the movie theater before the main feature.
Mm-hmm.
And our dad has talked about going to see Hopalong Cassidy every week.
Yeah.
So Flash Gordon was the same. There would be an episode every week. And
but he watched it when it moved to television.
That's true.
In the early days of television.
That was like reruns.
Yeah.
The first reruns were actually the the serials from the movies.
And I've seen the black and whites. They're amazing.
Oh my God, yeah, I loved it. And I don't know if it was Flash Gordon, but there was one. I think it was like there was there's the professor, right? There's the spunky female, and
of course.
Right, and then the hero, capital T, capital H, must be tall, blonde, and blue-eyed. What?
Look at Superman.
Look, oh my God, that's right. He's a brunette.
Mm-hmm.
What color were his eyes? It doesn't matter. It was black and white. Anyway. So, Professor. Well, this was classic. I got to find out what it was. So the girl had like this weird, kind of Brooklyn accent, I would call it.
Yeah.
Why are those guys from Mars coming after us, Professor? And the professor was 100% exposition, right? That's his job.
Yeah.
Which
Captain Exposition.
Which is where, Professor.
Well, Professor.
That's where I got the idea of Professor Exposition.
Dun, dun, dun.
Well, Marianne, you see?
Oh, Professor, I really don't understand.
Well done. And then the hero comes, I'll save you. These are all like the iconic, right, things.
Yeah.
And I thought that Intergalactic Nemesis used them very well to comedic effect. Mm-hmm. They definitely had the spunky heroine and the big strong hero, the professor. They had it all.
Yeah.
They hit all the bases.
The actors were phenomenal.
Yes.
Especially the male lead.
Oh, really? I thought the female lead was the one that carried the show.
He did 3 voices, didn't he?
Yeah,
he did the professor, he did the hero, and he did the nemesis, the bad guy.
Yes, the villain. Other than the villain, I couldn't tell the other two apart. I had to look up at the screen to see whose picture was up.
Well, it was pretty good though.
Well, whatever. I thought she was the best actor.
Probably, but she had an easier role.
It was fantastic, though, and I would love to. We had actually talked about this, about doing a radio serial.
At one point.
Yes. We'll have to think about how our listeners feel about it. Give us your feedback, listeners. Listeners. I forget there's 2 others now.
The others.
One of us. Cristy, what's next on our agenda?
Well, we can close out one show, start another.
Or we could just...
We could do announcements and close the show and start another.
Do we have announcements?
Yes, we do.
What's your announcement?
So, some interesting things have happened promoting the show. I've been on Twitter at cstrong3665. So, we are now a part of a network called Tangent Bound, and the other shows that are on that network are also really, really great. I've listened to a few of them. So there's a lot of different shows out there who are on the network and are really great.
Those are our announcements? That concludes the announcements
We
for
are
today?
now on iTunes. So look us up, do a search for Viva La Nerd.
And subscribe.
And subscribe. We are
And rate us.
We are also on YouTube. We've created some videos with additional jokes for the visual...
The visually unimpaired?
Something like that.
For people who don't listen but actually watch?
Yes. So
there's extra material on
and that's
YouTube.
where we have some subscribers. We have the Lo-Fi Show, which is also a podcast, which is really good on YouTube. They follow us. They subscribe to us. We've got our friend Kevin subscriber.
Friend of the show, yes.
Friend of the show. And a mystery subscriber.
He's a lover of the show, I understand.
Yes, he is. It's my boyfriend. Hi, Kevin. So
nice
we have a
girlish
mystery
giggle. I love it.
we have a mystery subscriber. I've tried to figure out who it is, but it doesn't show me anything, so...
He can remain anonymous. And
Anonymous, we'll just call you Anonymous. Welcome to the show.
Welcome to everyone who listens to the show. Thank you so much. Have a wonderful week, and don't forget to think about the future. I don't know. Do something useful with your life,
That would have been
goddammit.
the perfect time for the sound effect, Lisa. There you go.
It finally worked.
All
Goodbye,
right.
everyone.
Bye-bye.